What's up, my family? This is Uncle P from Super Easy Forex, and of course, this is our Sunday video where I cover what our signal service did last week, but I also cover exactly what news events you need to be looking forward to for this coming week, because it's very, very important that you stay up to speed on what news is coming out before you take trades. Many of you guys, what you don't realize, especially if you're new, is that sometimes the reason why you're losing trades is because you're taking trades right before a news event comes out. Once you take the trade a few minutes later, the news event comes out and the market spikes against you. In addition to that, I try to provide you guys with a little additional education on what's happening around the world so that not only will it you kind of know what can affect your trading, but also what can affect your family and how to prepare. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on around the world. Let's get started. And again, I'm Uncle P. So let's get started. First of all, what did we do in the signals group last week? Mr. Elvis, Miss Jenny, you guys just, my goodness, you guys went donkers in the market last week. So anyway, Mr. Elvis, starting with Mr. Elvis and the signals group, which, by the way, there's two separate services. Somebody had sent an email asking about it. Hey, is the scalping group separate from the signals group? No, it's all one. It's all one. Okay, one price, one family, one thing. Okay, so they did, Mr. Elvis, you did 21 wins and only one loss last week. That's insane. Insane. And they're still holding three of the trades right here, but you can see what they did on the different pairs, on the different positions. Only one was the original first loss for the first one of the week. And that's it. So 21 wins and only one loss there. And in the scalping group, they did over Miss Jenny's group, they did over 20,000, close to 21,000 pips. How is that possible? Because they trade the indices, and the indices offers a whole lot more pips. So therefore, this was a massive trading week. So in addition to the 20,000 pips in the scalping group, you also had 21 additional signals that was sent out, 21 wins. Well, not 21 signals, but you had, well, 23, yeah, guess so. But anyway, point is that you had 21 signals that were sent out on trades, and you won 21 of those and only one loss. And then on here in the scalping group, you guys did an additional, in addition to this, 20,794 pips. Congratulations, you guys are a freaking beast. My goodness, you guys are beasting out. This is why I told you guys, some of you guys, what's the point of me sitting here trading on these charts? I know how, I teach it and all that kind of stuff, but when you have a team like that that's doing massive stuff like that, man, just take the signals and run with them. Let them do the heavy lifting while you work on something else. Now, let's get to the news for this coming week. This is going, in my personal opinion, it's going to be more of a chill kind of news week. What some of you guys who trade or you haven't been trading for a long time need to know is after a massive week of bad economic news, or in a in clusters sometimes, then after that, it's just like Hurricane Ian, which I hope you guys have watched that video for those who are affected, because I talked about how you can, be able to get financially on your feet and stuff like that afterwards without stress. But anyway, after Hurricane Ian passed, like now, I mean, I'm looking outside, looking at the lake, looking out the window. It's just powder blue puffs in the sky. It's all beautiful blue skies and everything else. And just a week ago, or a week and a half ago, whatever, last week, Hurricane Ian came through, and now the storm is over, and so now the sky is just beautiful. Weather's just been beautiful. I mean, it's like Cali weather. It's gorgeous. I mean, even as I'm speaking to you, I'm looking at the lake, I'm looking at the sky. It's gorgeous outside. What does that mean here? It's the same thing. When you're looking at economic data, sometimes they're sending in hard wave clusters that's just bombarding you, and you will have a week of bad trading or a week or two of bad trading, not because of anything that you're doing wrong, but because of the economic data that they're pumping through, all in big wave and clusters. But then after that, the storm has passed and the markets become calm, and you have beautiful, beautiful trading weeks. So this is why, if you're going through an economic storm of news and you're trying to trade, don't give up on your trading. It has nothing to do with your trading, it has nothing to do with your methodology. It's economics that is affecting the market. But once that has gone by, then you have beautiful weeks such as what you see here, 21 wins and only one loss. 20,000, going on 21,000 pips in the scalping group, which is separate from the signals. That's insane. Why? No economic data that's interfering with the market, so you can resume your way of trading. Okay, so let's look at what's going on for this particular trading week that I'm kind of looking at, which is not much at all. Thank God for that. All right. So the first one is the inflation rates for the euro. Okay. And you'll see that right here. YOY means year over year. Okay. That's what YOY stands for. Last year versus this year. The inflation numbers for almost every part of the world has been controlling whether their government decides to raise or lower the interest rates. That's basically what's been driving the markets as far as when they're lifting interest rates to bring down inflation. Okay, and we talked about that many times before. So that's actually one of the drivers. So that's why when those numbers come out, most people are now paying attention. However, here's the big deal, or the little deal. Since they've already made a decision on what they're going to do in the near future with their interest rates, the ones that's coming out now really don't have the impact that the ones prior to that interest rate announcement would have had. In other words, let me break it down for those who don't understand. So let's just say I need to make a decision, or a big decision. So I'm getting all this data that's going to lead up to my decision that I have to make. Once my decision has been made, you can continue to give me more data on the same topic, but it really doesn't hold as much relevance to me because I've already made my final decision on what action I need to take. So that's the reason why, in my opinion, if you're looking at the year-over-year inflation numbers, you see now it's categorized as low on the totem pole. It's not that big of a deal. And when I say mean low, you'll see some for those who don't use this. And by the way, I'm using my FX book. You can go there. I'll always go to this week so I can see all the data on Sunday before the trading week comes up. I can mark my calendar and say, okay, this one. So I already know what news can be possibly affecting my trade, or whatever pair I choose to trade before I get into the market. Even before the market opens, I clearly know what's happening. So take a look at this. So for an example, right here, you see some of them are marked as high, meaning very important. You have some that's marked as medium, which means it's kind of important. And you have some that's marked as low, which means it really ain't that important. Okay. So here, when we're talking about inflation rates, this used to be red, meaning high importance. But since they've already made their decision on what they're going to do with the interest rates, it's not that important. So now they downgraded it to low on the totem pole. Okay. And some of these, they are high, but it depends on if you live in that country. Maybe it's important in that country, but it's not earth shaking. It's one of those situations where the news will come out, may cause a little blip, and then after that, the market resumes. Okay. All right. So let's get to the next one I'm concerned about. And that'll be on Wednesday, right here. And you can see they list them out. Here's Monday, Tuesday. Okay. And you can still go through this. Don't take my word for it. Do your own due diligence and this. I learned not to drive myself crazy over all of these different news events. Some of them, they cause a blip or something, but after that the market resumes. It's not earth shattering. So I don't really pay attention to every single one. Okay. The good news is if you're looking for a calendar, if you sign up for our simplicity system, it automatically in your tutorial steps and the printouts, just go to printouts and print it out. We have our own personal list of the ones that we look for so that you can have that right next to your desk right before you take a trade. You can check the news calendar and say, hey, is it on this sheet? I don't even have to know what it is. If it's on that sheet, chances are I need not to trade that pair until that news has passed. So we've done that for our clients already. Okay, so here is the deal. Let's go to Wednesday. I'm looking at this, and the thing that I was paying attention to is, you can pay attention to the PPI numbers, but that's not, that's here or there. The one I'm looking at the Fed minutes, kind of important. They may say something, which what we're looking for is to see whether they're going to continue to raise interest rates or not. Now, here's where we need to pause and stop and talk. So what's going on is, and a lot of people don't know this, especially those who trade currencies in the Forex market, what's happening behind the scenes is because the dollar has been climbing so fast and so high by the Feds, they're actually crashing other currencies. Because when you raise interest on the dollar, which is the typical standard, I'm just going to throw this out there. I'm not going to say much because I don't want to get in no trouble. And plus, it's none of my business. I don't really care. You got to make your own decisions and make your own life choices. But at the end of the day, here's the problem. The Feds continue to raise interest rates to try to beat down inflation. But what happens is it's like you're a balance. You have to keep balance. So the higher they pushing up the dollar, it's causing an imbalance among all the other currencies around the world that are affected by the dollar. Now, I've taught you guys that some news events, I really don't care about them because it will only affect that country's currency. And if I'm not trading that country's currency, why would I care? For an example, here, and I should did this for my students many times, okay? Right here, I have a regular quarter from the US, okay? This is a regular quarter from the US. This one here, because I used to travel a lot before COVID, Barbados. Here's a Barbadian coin, okay, from Barbados. And then here's this one here. Which one is this one? This is from Belize, okay? I went to Belize several times. This is a Belizean coin, okay? Now, out of these three coins, I'm here in the US. I have three different coins, okay? So if I'm in the US, this Belizean dollar, which is more valuable than this quarter from the US, it's $1, okay? One of their dollars. I can't spend this here in the US. They can care less. They don't accept this currency here. This is the, no, that was the Barbados. This is Belize, okay? This is the Barbados, okay? Which we've seen Rihanna's house and everything over there. Here's the deal. This currency, I can still not spend it here. Why? Because we here in the US do not accept Barbadian coins for dollars, no matter even if it was $1,000 worth. They don't accept it. I would have to convert it because in the US we don't use their money. However, when I was over there, I was able to take my US money and spend my US money over there, but I couldn't bring their currency back here. Do you get what I'm saying? In other words, the dollar can be used almost anywhere in the world. So any news that comes out on the dollar will affect all the currencies that are involved with it around the world who accepts it. But if news comes out on, let's say, the euro, I can't spend euro dollars here in the US. So whatever news comes out on the euro, it will typically affect just the eurozone, not here in the US or possibly in Japan for the JPY or in the AUD Australian dollar. Why? Because over these countries, they don't accept their currency anyway. So I don't care what y'all got going on. But the US dollar is a different story because you can take the US dollar and you can spend it because it's accepted almost anywhere in the world, okay? So I hope that is making sense to you. I try to explain things so you guys can not just understand trading and yes, here's chart patterns, here's the support and resistance, supply and demand, but I'm trying to help you guys to understand how this job that you're trying to do as a Forex trader actually works so that you'll get a better perspective of how things are flowing. Do you get what I'm saying? Because if you don't understand the flow, then you miss out on the bigger picture of what's really going on. And in addition to that, let's just say that you're not a Forex trader at all. This is still great information for you to understand because this is affecting you and your budget for your family, okay? And you need to understand why this is going on. So here's what's going on, people. What's popping is the fact that because the dollar has been raising their interest rates so high, it's causing the other currencies that are accepting the dollar in their countries to falter. In other words, the dollar is getting so strong, it means that their own currency is trashing. It's getting trashed in their own country. Do you get what I'm saying? The higher the dollar go, that means the other ones fall down. Somebody got to be king while the other ones fall down. But if you had them balanced out, everybody's happy. But right now, everybody is not happy because the dollar is raised so high until it's causing an imbalance with all the other currencies and making them trash. This is secret. Now, here's something. I'm just saying this. I ain't going to say a whole lot, but here's the truth. This is part of the reason why, secretly behind the scenes, so I've been told, that a lot of these current countries are coming and creating their own agreement or pact, and it's going to exclude the dollar eventually. It's what I heard they're working on. Why? Because you know what? Y'all in the US, you doing all the stupidity, you do raising your interest rate, and it's affecting our money. Well, guess what? They call it the dollar standard. They used to have what's called the gold standard. Now they have the dollar standard. The US dollar is what basically the other economies balance their values off of. Well, guess what? If we get rid of you and we create our own gang over here, you, guess what? You out. Okay, I ain't gonna say the word, but hey, we don't need you. And y'all can live, you can be the third, what do they call that, third world country. US, you can be the third world country. You can keep your little stanky currency over there, because guess what? We're going to not worry about your currency anymore. We'll create our own, and we'll be the super PAC, and we'll be the super leaders, because we're not going to use you as the standard anymore. We'll create a new standard. That's what I heard. So that's what I heard. Okay, I ain't saying more about it. That's what I heard. Okay, that could eventually happen. Okay, so either way it goes, that's about it for the news that I think that's coming this week. Now, I'm sorry, we do have this, which is core inflation for the on Thursday. I'm sorry, I missed one. This core inflation right here, year over year, YOY. This is something I want to pay attention to, because again, it still is sending a signal to the Feds whether to continue to raise interest rates, or whether how far they've raised them already will be sufficient to kind of balance out the stubbornness of the inflation that we're dealing with as people here in the U.S. So either way it goes, that's about it. I do expect another beautiful trading week. You guys just keep doing your thing. You know, if you have questions, send me an email to superezforex@gmail.com. I'd be more than happy to answer your questions. Students, I will see you in class on Tuesday, and you guys have a great trading week. Thank you. Cha-ching, cha-ching.